Thank you, ma'am. I'll be talking about algorithm for retreatment. I'm just starting with this small video. So I just wanted to put that because I think in life also and as surgeons, we have to expect the unexpected. And as refractive surgeons, I think the person who talked about counseling also talked a lot about that. That is it mission impossible? And all of us will have that one patient. So we always have that one patient who's going to keep asking you, is that number going to go 100%? So I think adequate counseling before surgery is very important. You need to tell them, especially when you're dealing with the higher numbers. If you look at the rate of retreatment, it's around 4.8 to 15% in myopes and as high as around 10 to 25% in hyperopes. If you look at the study, you can see that in the higher myopia, in around 7 to 8 diopters, there's around a 17 to 20 percent of patients who have needed retreatment at some point. It could be because of undercorrection, it could be because of regression. Likewise, if you look at the cylinder in this study, if it's the cylinder is higher than around 3.5 diopters, you can see it is almost 20% or 17 to 20% rate of retreatment. Looking at the laser machine, like earlier we were told, like, the humidity has to be maintained. That is true to some extent. Like if you have a good humidity, the chances of recorrection are, definitely lesser. When you come to retreatment, you have to identify first of all the right patient, what is the right time for treatment, the retreatment, your evaluation, counseling and technique. These are the 5 things you need to keep in mind. The right patient, if it's early and late, there could be different factors which could be contributing to your need for retreatment. If it's early, there could be a residual refractive error. The patient could have an aberration which may need a retreatment, and of course flap related complications. And late could be regression. Now if it's early under corrections, usually you will identify these patients within 1 month, 1.5 months. They are going to always be unhappy with their uncorrected vision. Or you could have the patient who has good uncorrected vision, but he's not happy with his quality of vision. He's going to consistently complain about glare, halos, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months down into your, post-operative period. And of course, later would be maybe a year longer. It could be because of regression, or it could be patients who've had LASIK like many years back, who've undergone cataract surgery and are now coming with refractive surprises. So that also you could kind of, take into your retreatment spectrum. So looking at the right time, if you're doing a myopic retreatment, I think wait for at least 3 months, and hyperopic at least 6 months after the initial surgery. Make sure your refraction is stable at 2 visits, and in hyperopic definitely cycloplegic refraction. Treat dry eyes, which may be a cause of fluctuating vision and refraction. Look at your flap carefully. Just don't run into doing a retreatment. You could have striae, you could have epithelial ingrowth, you could have other things going on. This is a patient of mine at 27-year-old. He had 6/6 vision, but he's one of those unhappy patients, consistently complains of glare. Now this patient actually made a video of his vision. If you look at the right and left side, it kind of looks the same to me, but he's a graphic designer, so he tells me that, one side is normal and the other side is how his vision is. So if a patient is making videos of his vision and sending to you, this patient definitely needs retreatment, or he needs to be referred to somebody else. So this patient had everything normal, but he had a lot of higher order aberrations, which we did end up treating, and he did well eventually. Now if the patient's coming late, of course tomography to be done at each step, but if it's late, all the more important, please rule out ectasia, rule out any lenticular myopia. Is the patient developing a cataract? In high myopes, cataract can develop early. Do an epithelial mapping, look at the corneal pachymetry, flap diameter, all of the ocular surface. This is a patient, I had done her LASIK, and this was 8 years post LASIK when she started complaining that, now she's having difficulty focusing. This is just an early cylinder, if you see that she has. Now, I really don't know if this was ectasia. There was an inferior corneal steepening. It could just be a regression, but since she was, in the age where she was having hormonal changes, I've decided to just wait and not do any treatment for her. Again, epithelial mapping, if you see if there's epithelial hyperplasia, that also can manifest as some myopia. So don't be in a hurry to retreat these patients. Look at your residual stromal bed, because if you have a thicker flap, you're really not going to have enough to retreat. right counseling, I think the previous speaker has done a great job. But in retreatment, when you're counseling, also make sure that if you are, especially in those in the presbyopic age, that when you're going to treat the number, their near vision is going to be impacted. If you're going to do a monovision, how it's going to impact their driving vision, all of that is important. And right technique, flap lift, PRK, a flap recut, or of course a lens-based surgery. Now flap lift, there was this paper which kind of, shook everybody up, that if you're going to do a flap lift after 3 years, then you're increasing the chance of epithelial ingrowth by 7%. But it's the way you interpret it, it all depends on you. If you feel you can deal with that 7% rate, then I would say flap lift is a great technique. This was actually a patient 7 years post LASIK. If you see those TRI, this was done, flap lift was done not for retreatment but just for those TRI, just to show the technique. If you just dimple the flap in the center, you can very well see the edges. Even if it's 7 years, then you just go ahead, or you can mark it at the slit lamp, whatever works. You just delineate those edges, and then you just a regular flap lift. You can see how easily it lifts at 7 years post the surgery. So you can go ahead and lift your flap. If you are going to do PRK, then it's a great technique. Use mitomycin. But if a patient has had LASIK earlier, he expects that kind of recoveries and no pain. So, and of course, epithelial remodeling, etc. with PRK can change with your refraction. You're not going to get that exact correction. May not get. This was a patient who had a buttonhole in the flap. Now, in this case, we did a PRK, and patient is doing great. After like 3 months after surgery. If you compare uncorrected vision, it's almost same in the flap, either a flap lift or doing LASIK, and so it really depends on what you want to do. Now, if you're doing PRK, you do it for small corrections, do transepithelial, use chill BSS, mitomycin, topical steroids. Don't use the amylase brush for removing epithelium. Transepithelial would be the safest. Femto flap cut has a role. You can see here if there's a decentered flap done earlier with the microkeratome, then this will be a great case to do a femto flap cut. This is a small algorithm. If you have a stable residual error, normal topography, no ectasia, no lenticular myopia, if this patient has undergone previous surface ablation or has some flap related complication, then I think surface is best. If you have a healthy flap with, how much time do I have? Half a minute, so I'm going to run. So if you have a good healthy flap, then yes, and good adequate RSB, then go ahead and either lift your flap, do a femto, a side cut. Now, enhancement after PRK, I think this is a topic in itself. Now, what is the important thing to know is that a regression can continue for almost 24 months after PRK. So when are we going to retreat these patients? I'm going to run through this. It depends on the amount of myopia and also the time. So risk factors of myopic regression would be high refractive errors, if the patient is on oral contraceptives, sunlight exposure, in any ocular surface diseases. So just to conclude, if you're treating after PRK, a retreatment, I think better to wait for at least a year. Use mitomycin C for sure. Avoid retreatments for more than minus 3.5 diopters of regression, because you're definitely going to get haze. Treat ocular surface allergy and disease well, and avoid sun exposure. So I think you'll end up with a happy patient if you keep all this in mind. So thank you.